presenting an education on setting the stage for success. Now, please help me welcome the distinguished Toastmaster, Ms. Shirley Lorraine.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Setting the stage for success. This morning's educational is based on a product of Toastmasters International, the Better Speaker Series. I've tweaked it just a little bit to fit Sandpipers this morning. Notice the woman, Don, who's looking the other way. This presentation is all about how to get the most out of the meeting and to give you some little pointers about each of the meeting roles and assignments. Some of us know that we're all on the schedule periodically. What do? So, setting the stage for success, meeting roles and responsibilities, just in case you don't know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. First of all of us have a role to play in every meeting, whether we are assigned or not. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. Because as speakers, we also need an audience. So those of you who are fulfilling, shall we say, smaller roles and having no assigned role, you are valuable members of our participatory team. So who will you be at the next meeting? By rotating all the assignments, and you may wonder, why do I not get this every so often, or why do I keep seeming to be the food master or the table topics master? Well, it's a difficult role that the educational vice president has to do, to put all of these members into assignments and make sure that the rotations are happening. If a rotation isn't coming up that you would like, feel free to talk to the educational vice president and let him know. Please put me on the schedule for a specific role. Here's a date. Help him out. It's a tough job. All right, so let's start with the big cheese, as it were. The Toastmaster, the master of ceremonies. This is the fellow or woman, I use that term generically, who puts everything together, makes sure that the meeting comes together completely, confirms all the participants' roles. Personally, I like to do it the week before. When I'm sitting at the meeting and everybody's already here, I like to go around with my checklist and say, okay, next week you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Gives a little heads up so we're not waiting for a phone call on Tuesday night, the night before Wednesday, correct? All right. We have an agenda. Wayne Choate has kindly given us a template for our agenda, so it's easy to access and make sure that we get all the roles down. I like to have an agenda to use as a template for the meeting. Know what's coming up, right? It's not mandatory, but it certainly is a nice thing to have. One of the things that the Toastmaster must do is to communicate with each of the speakers to make sure that it is known what project they're going to be doing so that we can inform the audience what their title is, what their introductory material is, and so forth. We all like to be in on the game, yes? So we like to know what project is occurring. We know it's number 4. Oh, yes, that's gestures, or working with words, or whatever it happens to be. And then we can acclimate our brains to be right there with the speaker, encouraging them. It also helps us as evaluators, and we are all evaluators every day, to be able to give some salient points to our speaker. And as Abraham did this morning, prepares filler material based on the theme, if there is a theme. Our educational vice president has been excellent about giving us some unusual themes to work with, and our Toastmasters have been right in there with filler material and interesting little factoids. I love those. Table Topics Master, another very important role. Now, all of us should have table topics kind of in our back pocket in case we're called upon at any point in time for a subject. We used to do this at my house at the dinner table. We didn't talk about our day. We didn't talk about what you do in school. We did table topics. True. Give me 2 minutes on the importance of umbrellas in Afghanistan in summer. That's how I grew up. Now you know a little bit more about the way I am. All right, so table topics, again, preparing in advance, you may use the theme of the day, or like any good table topic speaker, you may elect to go off subject and do something completely on your own. It's all fair game. Isn't that great? Table topic masters should, just to be fair, give as many people as possible, as the time allows, people the opportunity to participate, starting with those who do not have an assignment. And I recognize that things change and assignments get mixed up and people substitute, and that's all fine. Just take note through the meeting of what's occurring and try and choose the folks that don't already have a voice for the day, shall we say. And don't be afraid to invite our guests. Guests, are you listening? They have the opportunity to speak or not to speak. They can politely say, gee, I'm just not comfortable enough yet. Or maybe an accredited speaker and they can jump right up and give us 20 minutes on anything. How about it, Terry? All right, I thought you would. Excellent. General evaluator. General evaluator also has a very important role in the meeting. Summarizes everything, pulls it all together, brings the speaker material, the project materials, pulls it together for everyone. Again, talks to people, the participants, before the meeting time. Make sure that the evaluators know who their speakers are, the speakers know who their assigned evaluators are. And hopefully those two will talk sometime before the meeting to make sure that everybody's on the same page. At the meeting time, of course, calls on the evaluators to present and gives them a time limit based on what's available. Evaluations are generally 2 to 3 minutes, but sometimes we need to shorten it up just a little bit when you get someone like me who's a little long-winded and takes up extra time. The general evaluator, at the conclusion of the evaluations then, notice we don't say critiques, evaluations. We want to help people get better. Calls for reports from our timer, first and foremost, the odd counter. If the joke has not yet been given, that's a good time for the joke to come out. Make sure they're family friendly, everybody. Our grammarian, our word of the day. We don't want to have any Edsels sitting around. We want everybody to be able to use the word of the day. And of course, call for the vote. Then give a very brief overview evaluation of the meeting. And this general evaluator is your opportunity to say, hey, this really worked well, or let's try something different next time. The assigned roles. You all know what these are. But there are a few things that you may not be aware of. All right. Each one of these roles is given as was done this morning at the beginning of the meeting to let our guests and perhaps remind some of our members just exactly what it is they're doing. All right. More assignments. Your vote counter, your food master. I bring this up because some of us are new and maybe don't know what all goes on behind the screen here in Oz. We have a $25 maximum reimbursement limit. You're welcome to be as extravagant as you like. And $25 is what you'll get back if you spend more than that. It's also your responsibility to help clean up, take away the extras, divvy it up, whatever you'd like to do at the end of the meeting, rather than just walking out and hoping the sergeant at arms will do it. We have a poem in our meetings. Many Toastmaster groups don't do this. It's something that we added a few years ago, and it's expanded our abilities to speak in different ways. But do keep it short. All right, invocation and inspiration. This gets mixed up sometimes. God before country, the invocation comes before the pledge. If you're doing a general inspiration, it comes after the pledge. All you need to remember there. Pledge and greeter, of course, mission statement, and our club does something a little different. We have a video master. Not every club has that opportunity for additional learning. So you need to learn how to use the equipment if you're a video master for the first time, or the third, or the fifth, or the 12th. Some of us forget in between. All right, speakers, it's your responsibility to make sure that the Toastmaster knows what you're going to do. Don't wait for them to contact you. Every meeting assignment, the participants should be proactive. Confirm if it hasn't been done. Talk to the Toastmaster. Make sure that everybody knows what's going on. And here's the most important one. Bring your manual. If you cannot attend, did you know it's your responsibility to find a replacement? Don't just call up and say, not going to be there. Figure it out. Come on. We're all participating here, and it's our responsibility as leaders to take on that role. Successful meetings depend on everyone doing their part, doing it expediently, and filling in their responsibilities. And there is a manual, the Competent Leader Manual, by which you can get credit for all the little things that you do. The vote counter, the off counter, all of those things, they count. So you can be earning your Competent Leader designation even when you're doing small roles. Isn't that nice? I love this quote from Michael Korda. In the final analysis, the one quality that all successful people have is the ability to take on responsibility. That's why we're here. And my very favorite, do or do not, there is no try. Good old Yoda. That's it. For meeting responsibilities, go forth and be responsible.
All right. Well, that was incredible. Thank you so much, Shirley. And as we all know, we have something to grow.
Yes, may I introduce our